Hey Matthew, just coming in early. How much did that help? How much did that help you last year, and how much do you want to feel like that's going to help you this year by just keeping that same routine as far as coming in early, working with guys, and get establishing that rhythm and that routine?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I've done every year in my career. Last year was a little bit of a unique situation in that I was coming into a new offense, new team, everybody, trying to get to know everybody as best I could. This year, just back to it, just trying to do everything I can to prepare myself and our team to be successful when it becomes time to, play games and do all that kind of stuff. So I've always been a big, gone to the offseason program and tried to, work with the guys, and this year's no different for me.
Thank you.
Yep.
Kurt. Hey, Matthew, that great first world problem that you have the shortest off season because you won a Super Bowl. How does that change things, or does it change anything?
It does a little bit. I think, we have some guys, like you said, we played 6 weeks longer than anybody else pretty much. And we have some guys that probably, would have felt a little bit better had they had another 6 weeks and maybe they're coming off of a surgery or something here or there. But, so I think it changes the approach a little bit from a physical standpoint. And also, mentally, we kind of jump back into it. We have enough new guys in some spots that are going to have to learn some things. So we kind of jump back in and really, do as much as we can above the neck to try to get guys up to speed, knowing that, people's bodies might need a little bit more catch up than they would, in a normal season.
Quick follow-up. One of the biggest sports stories was about your old high school teammate having a perfect game. A, were you watching it? B, would you have left him in?
I was not watching it, but I, saw some highlights from it. That's a tough call. Early in the season like that, a guy coming off of a little bit of a forearm thing he had going on last year. I know who he is, and I know the competitor he is. I'm sure he would have loved to have stayed in there, but I think he also is smart enough and long in the tooth enough to know that it's about how that thing feels come playoff time. So it's a tough call. I was just happy that he came out, felt good, and had a bunch of success.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You got it.
Claudia.
Hi, Matthew. So I'm just curious, with the draft around the corner, do the coaches ask your thoughts about certain candidates that could help this team, and any draft candidates that you like?
I don't have too much dialogue with the guys on that. This is being a part of this team is about as unique as it gets when it comes to the draft. As far as who's going to be available, it's a real, crapshoot kind of, where we're picking. So I haven't talked to them too much. I'm just excited for those guys. Know how cool of a weekend that is to hear your name called and get the opportunity to play in the NFL. So looking forward to whoever we end up selecting. Just trying to take those guys under our wing, show them how we do it here, and welcome those guys to the NFL as fast as we can.
Thank you, Matt.
Jordan. Hey, guys, if you're not talking, please just mute your line, please.
Hey, Matthew, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Just want to check in with you real quick. Physically, how are you feeling? Did you go through any of some of the maintenance stuff that a lot of guys go through this off season? And if so, are you able to kind of expand on that?
I feel pretty good. Had to do some things after the year. Nothing, surgical, but had to a procedure thing, that I had to take care of that, is going to help me feel better in the long run, which I'm all for. So, at this point, for playing an extra 6 weeks, and to where I am now, I feel pretty darn good, to be honest with you. But as is with every season, there's things to, kind of work through and get over.
And then have you and Cooper started your breakfasts up again as you guys kind of get into this?
Not yet. I've spent plenty of time with him in the past 2 months, with him and his family and my family kind of hanging out and spending some time together. But there's no tape to watch at this point on an opponent. So I'm sure we'll find some time to do something, but it has not started yet.
I guess I wonder, if I could just really quickly follow up. I guess I wonder, he seems to me like a routine-based guy. He's always looking for ways to keep things the same or improve them. So I wonder if that's still something you guys think you might be doing as you get into it.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. That's just been a part of my routine, for a long time, and obviously his as well. It happened so organically last year. I'm assuming we'll continue to do the same thing because that's kind of what we both do.
Thanks, Matthew.
You got it.
Modesty.
Hi, Matthew. I wonder if you can describe the mood of the team as it gathers again. Can you tell? Would you be able to tell that this is a championship team getting back to work?
Yeah, I mean, I think from our approach, yeah. I don't think you would be able to tell from hooting and hollering and everybody excited about what we just accomplished. I think the biggest thing is we know it's a different team, both on the coaching staff, on the players' standpoint, and it's going to be a new season. So we got a lot of moving parts, a lot of things to, kind of set in stone and get moving. We're excited about the opportunity to get back together and get back to work and start this thing off. But we know it's going to be different than the year before, and it's on us to, be the best versions of ourselves as a team and as individuals, in this upcoming season.
And a minor point, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I remember hearing a year ago that you were the only Ram who had an incentive to in the contract to go to workouts. Is that still true this year? And you talked about being a fan of these early workouts. Would you be enthusiastic about them regardless of what's in your contract, I guess?
Yeah, I think that was carryover from my old deal in Detroit. That was something that I used to do in Detroit. I don't believe that's part of it anymore, but I'm still going to be here. And I think that's just a personal choice for me. Some guys really thrive off doing stuff, whether they're back home with their trainer or whatever it is. But for me, it's always been a good thing to have guys that I'm working with, just be around those guys. So I mean, it's a completely voluntary thing. It's just something that I've enjoyed being a part of.
Got it. Thank you.
You got it.
Gary.
Hey, Matthew, how important was it for you to kind of have your extension done before you kind of got into the off-season workouts? And what was your kind of mindset going into those negotiations, if there were some?
As far as the timeline goes, whether I had signed a new deal or not, I would still be here, be the same thing. That wasn't a huge driving factor for me on whether or not I was going to be at the off-season program. I think the biggest factor for me was just trying to do what was best, for the team and for myself and my family, finding that happy medium, that balance that, we could still do the things we wanted to do as a team, while at the same time, being able to take care of my family and do the things that you want to do when you play in this league at a good clip. So that was kind of the biggest things for me. Wanted it to be collaborative, and I feel like it worked out that way.
And then coming in last year to the off-season program, so much to absorb, learning the offense, everything. How does it change this? What's kind of your goals, if you will, or milestones you might want to achieve during this particular off-season, if it's changed from last year?
Yeah, from a mental aspect, obviously it's not my first time hearing these things. So I want to continue to just, gain ownership of what we're doing as an offense. And at the same time, sometimes the best way to be able to do that is to be able to teach it to guys. So I'm going to do everything I can to try and help Allen Robinson along, help some of these young guys along, being in those situations where mentally you're challenged is what makes you sharp and makes you own this thing. So that's kind of my mindset when it comes to the mental aspect of what we're doing as an offense, and then just continue to be around the guys, continue to lead, and try to immerse myself here as much as I possibly can.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Stu.
Hey, Matthew, what's it been like working with Liam Cohen and Zach Robinson in their respective roles? I know there's obviously some carryover because Zach was still on staff, but what stood out about your interactions with them in meetings and outside of that?
Yeah, it's been great. Everything has been pretty casual at this point. Today was kind of our first day, and Liam got up there and did a really nice job, just kind of talking through some of the things we're going to do and be as an offense. I think his relationship with Sean is a really strong one, obviously having some past and been here before with him. So they understand how each other work. So that's great for us as a team and great for us as an offense. And then Zach, like you said, I've known him for quite a while, and just watching him grow in his role is going to be great. I think he's a really, really talented coach and a guy that's got a bright future. So it's been a whole lot of fun. Both last year with Zach and now this year with he and Liam, kind of running the show.
Thank you.
Maria.
Hey, Matthew, since this is obviously your first Super Bowl win, how do you sort of prevent that Super Bowl hangover, if you will? Or do you not think about that because the team is going to be so different this year?
Yeah, I don't really think about it. I know been a part of this, game for a long time. Obviously, it's, like you said, it is the first Super Bowl win of my career and probably a lot of guys in there as well. But, if you play this game long enough, you understand that what you did last year, good, bad, and different, doesn't really have much bearing on what you do the following year. And there's so many things that you have to do to prepare, and then so many things that have to go correct or right for you, during the season as well. So I think the easiest thing for me to do is just stay in the moment and not worry about what it's going to look like in September right now or October, November, December. Just kind of sit here and say, okay, what do I need to accomplish in, today, this week, maybe the first 2 weeks, phase 1, phase 2, just kind of make those goals and those, things that you're trying to work on, make them short term and just stay in the moment as best you can.
Thank you.
Kaylin, then Omar.
Hey, Matthew, how are you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I want to ask you, I know that, Stu just asked about Liam and Zach being on the staff. For you at this point in your career, having gone through everything that you've gone through, how much of a difference does youth on the coaching staff make from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun to be around, to be honest. We have a great mix, of guys that have been around and guys that are really trying to prove themselves, in this league on the coaching staff, and just these opportunities that come along and guys take them and run with them. It's really fun to see. So I've been a part of staffs that have had quite a few guys that are, more tenured, and I've had quite a few, this is probably the youngest staff for last year, the youngest 2 staffs that I've been a part of, but they do a great job. They're really bright minds, guys that are, flexible in their thought process and how we go about things and try to problem solve and help us get to where we want to be. So it's really fun to be around that and work with those guys every day.
How much of a difference does that flexibility, play a role in what you guys do, whether it's developing game plans or just big picture ideas and stuff like that?
I think it's a big part of it. I think as a team, as an organization, as players and as coaches, we all have to be that way because, nobody would have told me, if you would have told me that Robert Woods is going to tear his ACL, and we're going to have Odell, and we're going to have to find a way to make it work with him and move guys around and all these moving parts to go through a season. Nothing is static. Nothing is exactly how you think it's going to go to start the season. You have to be able to, mold and adapt. And this coaching staff, is as good as any I've been around when it comes to that.
Hey, Matthew, thanks for taking the time today. Just curious about, so much veteran leadership, from the team last year, either retired or on different teams this year. As a leader yourself, to help fill that void, do you go up to maybe some younger guys and encourage like, hey, maybe you can take a more vocal role, or do things like that kind of happen organically?
I think that kind of happen organically. There might be certain guys that need to be, pushed a hair in that direction, but most of the time those guys know it, and those guys' roles are going to expand, and we have really competent guys that I know, are going to step nicely into those roles and fill some of the voids because we do have great guys and great teammates, great players that have moved on one way or the other. But we also, signed some guys and are going to bring in some guys that, can fill some of that void. And then at the same time, guys growing in their role in this team. I feel really confident in the group that we have. And I know it's going to change again with the draft. It's going to change as it always does, through the spring and summer. But, at this point, we're all just trying to get together, get to know each other as best we can and figure out what we're going to be about, which is a lot of fun.
And Matthew, one more, if I may, on sort of the coaching relationships and everything. As far as Liam specifically, him coming back, you guys working together for the first time, is it mostly him asking you questions about the offense now, or vice versa? Kind of what's that relationship like here in the first few days?
Yeah, he's a really sharp guy. He remembers so many things that, they did when he was a part of the Rams, a few years ago. So it's really fun to kind of see where they were. We talk about, maybe how it evolved and how it changed a little bit last year. And then really what we're focused on is moving forward. What's going to make us, as good of an offense as we can be. So it's fun to have, new ideas, collaborative ideas, a guy like that to work with. So it's been a great start.